What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy 4th of July to all of you. In this video, I'm going to go over a true crime story regarding this Bronx father who threw his 2-year-old son in the Bronx River to die and then withheld it from the mother of the child and the grandmother of the child for an entire month. So, the DA of Bronx County released a statement back on June 26th. And I'm going to also share that information as well. But thank you all so much for tuning into the video. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's get this story up in the algorithm. Hopefully, prayerfully, the charges will be upgraded and the father will spend the rest of his natural life in prison where he belongs. This has to be just absolutely inhumane and heinous all around. And these stories like this, you know, I can say for myself, are shared with the public because we want justice for the victim and we want the victim to be remembered. He was only 2 years old. There is nothing that a 2-year-old child could have done to this 20-year-old boy that would have warranted him throwing his own son into the river. Um, Based on what I've read and research, he did it out of malice and being angry and upset with the mother. That's not the child's fault. So, as a mother myself, it's incomprehensible for anyone to want to do something like this. He could have taken the son back to the mother and, went home or lived his life. But it's just unfortunate for this to have occurred. And then he kept it a secret for a month and almost was hidden and on the run. Wouldn't tell the mother where her child was. Nothing. Just despicable. So we're going to check out law and crime video first, and then we're going to get to the Bronx DA letter that was released, just so you guys can have some more context to the charges that he's been indicted on. Personally, I don't agree with them. I think they're undercharging him. They're not strong enough considering what he's done and the evidence that they have. He was actually captured on video doing this, throwing the child over the river, into the river. Okay, so make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's make sure we share this video, get this information out. This happened in the Bronx in New York. I don't think this is gone viral or is getting enough attention. So I'm going to speak on it, and it will be saved to the true crime playlist here in the Lady Luck Club. And this more of true crime content to come. I know it's hard to digest it. Everybody's, true crime is not for everybody, but you have to remember that there is a story to tell for the victim. And if we're not telling the story, their memory gets lost. So it's only for that reason that I cover these true crime stories. And yes, advocate for justice to be served. All right, let's get to it.
York father now facing murder charges, accused of throwing his 2-year-old son into the Bronx River. Arius Williams appearing in court as prosecutors lay out a disturbing case. Police say they have video evidence showing the moment Williams allegedly tossed his son, Montrell Williams, to his death. Montrell was last seen on May 10th. According to the New York Daily News, Montrell's mother left him in his father's care that night so he could attend a Mother's Day gathering with Williams's side of the family. The two parents shared split custody. But investigators say an argument broke out and Williams allegedly stormed out of the home with Montrell, who was wearing only a shirt, a diaper, and wrapped in a blanket.
Wow.
Montrell was supposed to be returned to his mother the next day, May 11th. But when that didn't happen, she contacted police and filed a complaint in family court. But weeks went by and still no sign of Montrell. On May 28th, a judge issued...
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine this clown, this soulless miscreant from hell, not returning the child to the mother and then not telling the mother what's going on with her child? Can you imagine that? and she had to go to court just to get a judge to sign an order to demand that he produce the child, which by this point he couldn't. I would not have allowed this fool to leave my property with my child wearing nothing but a shirt, diaper, and wrapped in a blanket, knowing that an argument had ensued. And seeing that, okay, you're willing to just take my child and leave, that's the sign of someone that is just evil. And you're doing this just to get back at the mother. So it shows that he didn't love his son to begin with. It is so egregious.
In order for Williams to produce the child. Then, on June 8th, after weeks of silence, Montrell's mother spotted Williams on the street and confronted him, demanding to know where their son was. According to the complaint, Williams allegedly pulled a knife, threatened her, and said that he had thrown Montrell into the river. She reportedly called police again. Williams was arrested on a custodial interference warrant, and she was granted an order of protection. Williams refused to say where the boy was and was sent to jail. NYPD divers searched the Bronx River and officially recovered a body. During arraignment, prosecutors revealed that video allegedly shows Montrell was still alive when he was thrown into the water.
Oh my God.
The child was reportedly standing at one point, and then the video allegedly shows Williams throw the child over the bridge and then walk in front of a gas station without the child. Montrell's family describes him as evil, a sweet, joyful toddler. A vigil was held in the community.
There is nothing that this baby did to deserve that. Nothing. His father is 20 years old. He was just absolutely soulless and evil. He was not ready for parenthood. Let's be honest. I don't think 20-year-olds should just be having babies, because clearly he was not ready to be a parent. And the fact that he would literally take out his venom against the mother on his own son and throw his son over the river. I'm going to say this. The death penalty needs to be thought about in this situation. That's it.
Community to honor his short life. And here to break down the story with me is family law attorney Randy Kessler. Randy, thank you so much for coming on today.
My pleasure.
So let's just jump right in. When you first hear about a case like this, a father allegedly killing his child during a custody dispute, what stands out to you from a family law perspective?
I mean, first of all, the horrible tragedy, right? That just hits us. You never get immune to that. You can only be desensitized so much. This is the worst of the worst. But what strikes me is we hear these claims, and you don't want to say the boy who cried wolf. We hear mothers in particular say he's going to be dangerous with the child. He's not going to take care of the child. And, when are they telling the truth? When are they, is it my job to figure out who's telling the truth? Is it the court's job? Because there's this balancing act of dads have rights too. And why should there be a presumption that a dad can't take care of a child? So the courts are always stuck in the middle of someone who's being overprotective versus someone who's got a real finger on their pulse. But I guess what strikes me, to answer your question, is, in a situation like this, you trust the people that know, right? Mom knows, grandma knows. And I guess
exactly, because we know our children, and some people just understand what they're dealing with. Everybody's not meant to be a parent, and he certainly was not meant to be a father. But he got someone pregnant, and for whatever reason, for 2 years, he, I guess, played some role in the child's life. But if you can't control your temper, your anger to this extent, to where you're taking it out on the child and not even harming the child, you literally took the child's life and threw him over the bridge and didn't think twice about it, and then kept it from the mother for an entire month. And then when she confronts him, he pulls a knife on her about her son that she gave birth to, that he seemingly disconnected himself from. So can you really say that he's still a father after he does something so heinous? Because he didn't care. He let this sit and linger for an entire month. And then when confronted, pulls a knife out on the mother. And as if someone's doing something to him. So it seems like he was trying to play a victim. It's disgusting all around. The death penalty needs to be, the charges need to be upgraded to where the death penalty should be one of the two penalties that he receives. If not the death penalty, definitely life in prison forever with no bond, no bail, no chance of getting out ever at all, ever. Go to prison and rot there for the rest of your life. That's it. That's all that needs to happen with this. This is so egregious. Okay, so I want to make sure, because I don't want the video to be too long, and I just want to show this letter from the DA that speaks to the indictment, and just kind of some background information on what occurred. This is from the Office of the District Attorney of Bronx County, Darcel D. Clark, and it was released on June 26, 25. Bronx man indicted for killing toddler son by throwing him in Bronx River. 2-year-old Montrell Williams was alive when tossed from Brooker Expressway overpass, or Brucker. I'm going to say Brucker. Bronx DA Darcel D. Clark today announced that a Bronx man has been indicted for second-degree murder, which I do not agree with that charge. I think they're undercharging him for allegedly throwing his 2-year-old son into the Bronx River. The DA said Montrell was seen alive and standing near his father moments before the defendant allegedly picked the 2-year-old up and threw him into the Bronx River, causing his death. The defendant would not tell the boy's mother and grandmother where Montrell was, and the child's body was not found until a month later, causing agony to the family. So it has to be even more torturous and heinous and evil to not only take the child's life and get caught on camera doing it, because, you know, there are certain areas now where you have cameras up. We live in an age of advanced technology where there are cameras and lights at, you know, street lights and stop signs and on overpasses. So there's some level of surveillance going on. It's hard to kind of hide these things with all of this advanced technology where you have surveillance cameras everywhere. And here are the reasons why you need it. Because he was captured on camera seen doing this, and then didn't tell the mother of the son. She's having to go to court, and I can only imagine if she's got, you know, a biased judge on her hands, how much more agonizing that could have been for her. So you have situations where these courts and these judges need to listen to the parents when we're saying, hey, there's some level of abuse happening here, or the other parent is just being, you know, retaliatory and vindictive, and I fear they're going to take it out on my child. The judge should be neutral and at least be willing to hear both parties, to hear the children out, to talk to the kids, and to gauge what's really going on. I, as a mother, can say how I feel about what's happening with my children because I know my children. The judge is just sitting there listening to, hopefully listen to both sides of the story, but they're not the parent. So it becomes problematic when the court of law wants to tell you how you should parent, as opposed to the parents telling the court of law, here are the issues, we're not able to resolve it, we need some level of resolution. But you're talking about a 2-year-old child, and they have to go to court, the mother and the grandmother with the court saying he will not produce the child. No judge should look at that situation and say, well, you know, he's the dad, he gets to do what he wants. No, he doesn't. If I'm asking where my child is and you can't tell me, that's a problem. Did he have the right to spend time with his son? Yes, until he became a danger and a threat to the child. And that goes for any parent, whether it be mother or father. You have your rights to have time with your kids and spend time with your kids, to raise them. So right, it's not something that you should have to beg to do. But when you become a threat and a danger and you can't even produce the child, you refuse to tell the mother where the child is, and you know you were supposed to bring the child back under a custody agreement. They had a custody agreement. He had visitation, but he was supposed to return the child under that custody agreement, which is an order of the court. And he failed to do that. That is where the judge crosses the line to say, listen, you have your rights. We gave you time. Return the child, produce the child. And that's what ended up happening. But it took a month later, you all. The body was not found until a month later. So you can imagine that entire month, what was going on in the mother's head. D.A. Clark said Arius Williams, 20 of 837 Hunts Point Avenue, was indicted on 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree manslaughter, and second-degree menacing. He was arraigned today before Bronx Supreme Court Justice Kim Parker. Remand was continued, which means that he did not get bail. He went back to jail after being indicted. He is due back in court on October 9, 2025. According to the investigation, on May 10, 25, Williams came to his mother's home for a Mother's Day party. After getting into an argument with her, Williams allegedly got upset and left the home with Montrell. Members of Montrell's family tried to locate the toddler and attempted to confront the defendant about the boy's whereabouts, to no avail when he showed up approximately 2 hours and a half later at his aunt's house without the child. So they tried to confront him on Mother's Day about the baby after he was gone for 2.5 hours. On May 12, 25, Montrell's mother filed a petition in family court after Williams failed to return the child on May 11th, pursuant to the visitation order in effect. On May 28, 25, a warrant was issued by a family court judge to produce the child. Look how long it took to get that order. From May 11th to May 28th, that's 17 days. This mother sat waiting on the court to do something. Why was that not done as an emergency order? I don't know. But the warrant was issued 17 days later by the family court judge to produce the child. On June 8, 25, the defendant was approached by Montrell's mother. I guess she just got fed up, naturally. I would have done that, the next day. I would have pulled up on him the next day. And allegedly pulled a knife on her. Allegedly pulled a knife on her after she's gone through all of this, having to try to figure out where's my son, and he refused to return him. And admitted to throwing their son into a river. He has no soul. Montrell's body was recovered by NYPD divers on June 11, 25 in the East River near the Whitestone Bridge. Surveillance footage allegedly shows the victim alive and standing for a brief period, minutes before being thrown into the river from a Bruckner Expressway overpass. And forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. The case is being prosecuted, and it has a list of the investigators and prosecutors that worked on the case between the CAS Crime Bureau, the Special Victims Division. Then you have the investigators with the Homicide Bureau, the video technician, the director of the video unit, crime victim advocates. So, of course, the NYPD detectives, the officers, and the harbor unit that went out diving and discovered the child's body. I think that he is being undercharged. I don't see why this could not be felony capital. But that's just my opinion on this. This is very, very sad all around. But you guys let me know what you all think in the comment section. Like I stated, true crime is it's not pretty at all. But it's a matter of getting the story out there to get justice for the victim. And I just personally believe that the father should get no less than life in prison without the possibility of parole, if not the death penalty. Period. This was just heinous and disgusting for no reason. And it also shows how slow the family court moved with getting an order for him to be forced to produce the child. So just all around a lot of things that it seems like it just went wrong. But at 20 years old, I would not, I just can't see how anyone could be ready to become a parent at such a young age like that. Obviously, he was not ready. And to get angry and to take it out on the child and throw the child over the bridge, he certainly was not ready. It's disgusting. Thank you all so much for tuning in. There's more content to come. Make sure you guys hit the like button and share this video and subscribe. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers by July 31st. So I want to thank all of you for supporting me here in the Lady Luck Club, and consider becoming a member as well. We have great content there and exclusive lawsuit court documents and things that are going to be posted there. So far, we got Fluffy Fat Joseph's, aka Fat Joe lawsuit, that's there, full 157 page document that is in the LLC readers. So if you become a member today, you will have access to the entire lawsuit proceeding that was filed against him. And we have much more to come. Thank you all for tuning in. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.